As he sat on his bed, he saw something strange. From his left side appeared a multitude of dark beings. They tried to seize him. At first he could see the brothers around him. He did not fear their attacks much. Then suddenly he found himself alone. During the reign of Romanos Lecapenus, there lived a man in Constantinople. He once served in the royal palace of Alexander. Alexander was the son of Basil the Macedonian. He was also the brother of Leo the Wise. This man left the world and became a monk. He took the name Kosmas with the angelic schema. He later became abbot of a venerable monastery. The monastery was located near the Sangarius River. After a few years, Kosmas became gravely ill. The illness lasted a long time. After 5 months, the Holy One recovered slightly. He rose from his bed and sat up. The brothers helped him stay upright. Suddenly he fell into ecstasy. The ecstasy lasted from the 3rd hour until the 9th. His eyes were open. He gazed upward toward the ceiling of his cell. His mouth whispered incomprehensible words. When he came to himself a little, he spoke to those present. He asked for the 2 portions of bread that the elder had given him. He put his hands into his bosom. He tried to find them. Some of those present understood that he had seen a divine vision. They begged him to tell them about it. They asked him to say where he had been all those hours. They wanted to learn what he had witnessed. They asked whom he had been speaking with. The Holy One told them to stop. He promised he would tell them later. He would wait until he came fully to his senses. In the morning, the entire brotherhood gathered in his cell. The Holy One began to recount his vision. He told them he could not remember everything. He could not explain it adequately. He would recount what he remembered. As he sat on his bed, he saw something strange. From his left side appeared a multitude of dark beings. The faces of the beings were black. In some, the blackness was more intense. In others, it was less dark. Some had their eyes rolled back. Others had eyes black as lead. Some had bloodshot eyes and appeared like beasts. Others had black and swollen lips. Some had only one lip swollen. These beings approached his bed. They tried to seize him. At first he could see the brothers around him. He did not fear their attacks much. Then suddenly he found himself alone. The dark beings immediately overpowered him. They dragged him bound forward. Others pushed him from behind. They crushed and distressed him. Finally they led him to a deep chasm. The width of the chasm exceeded a stone's throw. The depth reached down to Tartarus. By force they brought him down into the terrible chasm. On one side of the chasm there was a narrow path. It barely fit a human foot. By force they dragged him along the narrow path. He tried to lean constantly to the right. He feared he might slip and fall into the depths. Through this chaos flowed a river. The current of the river made a great roar. With fear and trembling they crossed the narrow path. They found a great door slightly open. There sat a gigantic man. He was black in form and terrible. His eyes were rolled back, large and bloodshot. They shot out flames of fire. His nose emitted smoke. His tongue hung out of his mouth. His right hand was ice-cold and frozen. His left was thick as a column and very long. With this hand he seized the sinners. He threw them into the chaos. Everyone cried out in pain and despair. As they approached the black giant, he shouted loudly. He told the dark beings that Kosmas was his friend. He extended his hand to seize him. The Holy One trembled with fear and drew his body in. Then 2 white elders with holy appearance appeared. Kosmas thought they were Andrew and John. The terrible giant saw them and became afraid. He immediately hid. The 2 elders took Kosmas gently. They passed through an inner door. They came out into a beautiful plain. They crossed the lovely fields of the plain. Near the end they found a green valley. Its beauty was impossible to describe. In the middle of the valley sat a beautiful elder. Around him was a multitude of children. Their number was like the sand of the sea. Kosmas asked who the elder was. They answered that he was Abraham. This was the bosom of Abraham. The Holy One approached and venerated Abraham. He kissed him with reverence. They continued their journey forward. They crossed the valley and reached a vast olive grove. The trees were countless as the stars. Under each tree there was a tent. In each tent there was a bed. In each bed a person slept. Kosmas recognized many of them. Some had lived in the royal palaces. Others had dwelt in Constantinople. Some were from his own monastery. All of them had died earlier. He wanted to ask what the great olive grove was. The elders anticipated him. They told him these were the many mansions. They are distributed to all according to worth. The measure is their virtue. After the olive grove there was a city. Its beauty was indescribable. The wall had 12 courses surrounding it. They were made of the 12 precious stones. Each zone had a different color. The gates of the city were adorned with gold. Inside there was a golden floor and golden houses. There were golden chairs and golden tables. The city was filled with inexpressible light. Everywhere there were fragrances and graces. They saw no person or animal there. At the edge of the city there were wondrous palaces. At the entrance was a chamber like a bridal room. Inside there was a table of Roman marble. The table was full of dishes of food. The space was filled with pure light. There was fragrance and every grace. From an open window, 2 luminous young men leaned out. Their faces were like lightning. They told the elders to have him also sit at the table. Kosmas sat in the place they showed him. The elders sat elsewhere. The young men went into the interior of the palace. They remained there for many hours. The Holy One recognized many at the table. They were lay people and monks he had known. After hours, the young men leaned out from the window again. They told the elders to return Kosmas. His spiritual children grieve for him. The king wishes him to remain still in life. They should take the monk Athanasios instead of him. Athanasios was from the monastery of Trajan. The elders took Kosmas and departed. They took another shorter road. On the road they encountered 7 lakes. They were filled with various torments. One was full of darkness, another of fire. One had foul mist, and one had worms. All were filled with countless people. Everyone wept and lamented pitifully. They passed the lakes and proceeded a little further. They found Abraham again. The Holy One venerated and kissed him. He gave him a golden cup. It was full of wine, sweeter than honey. He also gave him 3 pieces of dry bread. He dipped one in the wine. He ate it and drank all the wine. The others he put in his bosom. These were what he had been asking the brothers for the previous day. Then they arrived again at the giant guardian. He gnashed his teeth with anger. He told Kosmas that he escaped now. In the future, he would devise schemes against him. He would also do harm to his monastery. These are what the Holy One remembers. How he came back to himself he does not know. They sent a brother to the monastery of Trajan. He found Athanasios dead. They were carrying him out of his cell. He asked when Athanasios had died. He learned that he died yesterday at the 9th hour. At that hour, Kosmas saw the vision. After a short time, the 2 monasteries were united. They were nearby neighboring monasteries. To this day, they are governed by one abbot. The holy Kosmas lived another 30 years. He served as abbot of the 2 monasteries. He brought great progress and growth to them. He helped the virtuous life of the monks. He also cared for their income, for their sustenance. All this to the glory of the benevolent God.